Hello and welcome to It's Free IP. I'm your host Felix Chaplin, and I'm here with yet another list of public domain trans and non-binary characters. Before I get started, there is a part 1 video, so be sure to check that out after watching this one if you haven't seen it already. I must also say that while public domain characters are free, the battle against corporate media is not free. If you have the means to do so, go to the Ko-fi link in the description to financially support our cause. If you don't have the financial means to do so, simply liking this video, subscribing, and sharing this channel with your friends also gets us one step closer to alleviating the stranglehold that major corporations like Disney have on the media. With all that out of the way, let's get on with the video. When I made the first video, I knew that the characters I mentioned didn't fit neatly into our modern idea of what it means to be trans, so I tried to get as close as possible with the ones I did choose to include. My first video also didn't have any trans masculine characters, but this video does, and I included a song that trans guys might find relatable for good measure. Making this follow-up was challenging, but that's what makes it fun. I also threw in some intersex characters, because why not? Anyway, let's get started.
Everybody used to call me Jimmy, ever since I was old enough to walk.
Honestly, I can't believe I forgot to include Loki in the first video. Loki is an extremely well-known deity from Norse mythology, made even more famous by the MCU and various books and video games. Norse mythology is chock full of stories of the god of mischief changing his gender, and it wasn't all just for purposes of trickery. There are a number of stories in which Loki transformed into a woman or some female animal, and actually got pregnant and gave birth to various creatures.
What'll become of her when she's a lady? A girl of her age should be so sweet and coy.
Here's the intersex character I promised. The term hermaphrodite comes from this ancient Greek mythological figure. He was the son of Hermes and Aphrodite, and his name is a portmanteau of those names. His origin story is pretty messed up, though. He was an exceptionally handsome boy, and a nymph forced herself on him and prayed to the gods that they'd never be separated. This resulted in them becoming combined into one being with both male and female physical characteristics. Those ancient Greeks, man.
And then now they won't forget the day I smoked a cigarette. Oh gee, I should have been born a boy.
When the character He/She was brought to my attention, I debated whether or not to include them on this list. He/She was a one-off villain that was fought by the child superhero Crime Buster. In their single comic appearance, they would seduce people into marriage and then scam them out of their money. Just look at this character design. How could this person whose face looks half masculine and half feminine convince people that they were one gender or the other? A person would just need to adjust the angle at which they look at their face to see what's up. But hey, this character's in the public domain, so we're free to make any kinds of changes we want. Maybe instead of that ridiculous design where the right side of the face looks masculine and the left side looks feminine, maybe the character could have shape-shifting abilities like Mystique or Clayface, and change their appearance to look like a man or a woman depending on what the certain situation calls for. Maybe instead of being a villain, this character could be a hero. Maybe instead of victimizing innocent people, this character could instead target Republicans. When I started planning this video, I made a post on Tumblr to see if anyone was willing to submit their public domain or Creative Commons trans and non-binary OCs to be discussed in this video. The only person to get back to me was Tumblr user Space Scoob, who contributed their gender-fluid Vocaloid character named Ghouloid. Ghouloid uses any pronouns, most often she, her, and you can make your very own Vocaloid music with her voice on this Vocaloid software whose name I don't know how to pronounce. I'm assuming it's Utau or Utau. Thank you very much for your contribution, Space Scoob, and I hope that some viewers out there will make use of this character.
I never cared so much for girls as boys who have their fun, so I've had to take the place of a boy in the family.
We've reached the final character on this list. I know I promised to include a trans-masculine character in this video, but I was just unable to find any public domain characters who are canonically trans-masculine. However, I did get a few comments from YouTube user Button Yarn and Many Candy Hearts recommending a character that I decided to include in this list, Raggedy Andy. You can pause the video to read their comment explaining their reasoning for why they think Raggedy Andy is trans-masculine, but honestly, we don't even really need a reason. He's a fictional character, and he's in the public domain, so we can do whatever we want with him. Therefore, by the power vested in me, I hereby proclaim that Raggedy Andy is officially a trans-masculine character. He will also be a trans guy in official Pussyville canon. If anyone watching this video is upset about this development, here's a cordial invitation to kiss my ass. Also, feel free to leave a comment airing your grievances. I could always use a good laugh. Anyway, that's all the time we have for today's video. Do you know about any other public domain trans characters that I may have missed? Tell me about them in the comments. While you're down there, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring the notification bell so you won't miss what comes next from It's Free IP.